Well, hello, crowd. Welcome into the porch late night. I'm Red Dirt Preacher. The porch light is always on, and I'm always an open channel. It's like I have a little holy beeper, and when it goes off, I get a kiss of telepathy, and I see images in the pineal gland, and I get spoken to. All those clairs, those clairaudient, clairsendent, those are real. And what a great holy walkie-talkie that I have with Christ, and that has grown a new talent in the last few years, the ability to tell you what he said to me out loud. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just telling stories here that really happened to me, and I share my thoughts out loud. You guys are like a living journal. So that's that. I titled this video, this is going to get deep because I don't know how long this is going to take, and I kind of know where we're going. And I know that in the past, and if you're new here, one of my goals here on the porch is to capture the live love that's going on between me and Spirit in a bottle. And what that means is, when I receive revelation, more often than not, it's not in front of the camera. I'm somewhere in my house and literally doing domestic chores or dealing with my children, something very small and benign. And I get struck with epiphanies all the time. And I was cued to bring them to the porch out of integrity for my marriage with God. It's what he asked me to do. And it's the call and mission on my life. So I'm here to please him. I'm not here for anything else. This makes him happy, and it makes me happy that he's happy. And that's a real spiritual spouse. That's a real marriage. We should learn here first at the marriage at the foot of Jesus before we give ourselves away on the earth to anybody else for lesser reasons. So welcome into the conscious growing church, a global conscious church, because I know the 1111 bat symbol's out in the sky, and love and truth is in the air, and no bullshit is the song we're singing. So I come to you tonight because I did actually catch lightning in a bottle, which means, like I said, when I hit revelations most of the time, or epiphanies, they're not here in front of the camera. They're happening in my home. And I have a few hours, up to 7 minutes to 3 days, to bring you the message that's the Lord's rule for me. And usually when I bring it to you, I've kind of marinated it with a friend, bounced it off of a loved one, and then I come to the porch and I give you the knowledge of mana that was given unto me. Now, what I love, and I haven't really done, and it's very rare, is to take the live knowing that's going on between us and turn on the video camera before I have the whole cookie. And I'll try to keep the dings down, guys. Sorry, I don't turn the notifications off on my phone. I've got a loved one traveling at night in the rain, and I've got 3 kids, and just people I love. You never know, they need to hear. They need to have me. So sorry about the dings that go off really loud. Just take those as angel confirmations if you want. But so I know that this video right here is going to be a live. What do you mean, Lainey? I'm getting a revelation as I sit here, and I'm going to receive it while I'm sitting here. Because I got that chain and we're going to pull. So what I've done here is I've inadvertently caught the lightning in the bottle. So what you're going to see is a place where I'm going to start off right now. I don't know where we're going. I'm not playing mind games with you. You're going to watch a prophet work live time. And that's what I've always wanted to catch in a bottle. What does that look like? Because I've always wanted to sneak behind the great Oz curtain and see what it looks like. And instead of being able to sneak behind the curtain and see, God's allowed me to see it out of my own eyes, out of my own body, and feel it. So I want to give you the gift of being able to see what it looks like when you just revel it, when you hear from him, and what that looks like when I do it. Because hello, I did start the porch. You guys know how this works. If I'm a V8 or a V6 engine, you like to pop the hood and see how this works. You know what I'm saying? I hope this engine carries me far. So let's get right down into the meat of it. I actually have painted my desk. I would love to turn the camera around, but I painted my desk with chalkboard paint, and on here I've been scribbling and doodling the Lord's words. And I literally have all over my desk attract and repel and eucalyptus and cedar. It's a video that I just put up, okay? So I'm sitting here allowing myself to be, hanging out with Jesus and doing what we do. And I'm writing just as it comes to me. And one of the things that I wrote on the desk is a thing called Love Ownership. It's a video all by itself and a standalone that I've not done yet. And then over here on the other edge of the desk, all of a sudden, way away from the plants I was working with, I wrote down a few more things, and that jogged my thought, and I stopped right there, and that's when I turned on the live. So I kind of know where we're going. I kind of know this is going to be a deep one, and I hope I hit the ball. I hope I make my dad proud here. I really hope that I hit this out of the park, because it deserves to be hit out of the park. The message that's here on my desk on the docket. Okay, the devil wants... what did I write down? The devil works through religion to keep you away from the things that Jesus the Spirit has given you. Let me say it 3 more times to validate it. The devil works through religion to keep you away from the things that were given to you by God the Father, by the Holy Spirit. The devil works through religion to keep you away from the things that are naturally inalienable yours. For instance, we'll start small, and this is what I have written on my desk here. Way back in the day, and this stems, oh my gosh, I'm going to use the same vernacular. Wow, we're on plants tonight, guys. So I just did a plant video, and the Sermon of the Flowers, check it out. I just put it up about 15 minutes ago. And so it's all over my desk. And I just used the word stem, which I think is funny. So I from that stemmed me writing down about plants, witches, astrology, stars, weather, and I stopped right there because that's enough for me, and cliff noting. So to explain it to you, and you already know this, but let me revalidate. Back in the day, if you ever get on Netflix and watch this season, watch Outlander, it's amazing. So what I'm talking about here is back in the day, doctors, Nightingale, doctors used plants to heal, okay, to amend. And it's so funny that women took to this. And it's women witches that were burned, it's churches that, really large religions that have looked down on the using of plants and called it witchery and paganism, and you're using plant medicine? No, you heathen. That started back in the 14th, 15th, 16th century. This is nothing new. There's one particular religion, that really whacked off people's heads. So I can't stand with that. And Jesus, the Spirit, Jesus, my holy husband, the one that directs and navigates me, he was never one for a big religion. He was never one for a big church. He was always the guy in the alley, and he's still that guy today. He's the one that talks to whores, tramps, and fishermen. And right now he's talking to a carpenter with a stained glass past. So he's, Jesus is the same guy he was back when he was walking in the body. He's the same guy now. And he's not for the big churches and religion. That's why I don't let the bull of religion on the porch, because all of that does create just bullshit and division. And on the porch, it's a purity of light, one love, one foundation, one, call it, So plants were connected to being, like a witch. For sailors and Vikings, and I don't know, I wasn't there, but they used astrology. They learned to read the stars. Isaac Newton did it. Galileo did it. The greats did it. And we lean on those cornerstones and those forefathers of strength of knowledge. There was truth to these things. They foretold. It's like living with cliff notes. When the birds fly out of the tree, you kind of understand that maybe an earthquake might happen. If you live in Oklahoma, you understand when the tornado is going to happen, when the weather's turning, by the colors of the leaves, what the trees look like up against the sky, the reaction of the birds. This is nothing different than our ancient fathers did when they didn't have radar systems. They would just feel the weather in their bones and in their body, and they were believed by their tribe, So their body was telling them a barometer, and they would add that to nature around them and say, well, the birds have went in, the squirrels have went in. The Farmer's Almanac is full of sayings about animals that do, go in and the sun will shine. We use a Groundhog Day to do this too. So, it's not something we should stay away from. There's a hell of a lot of truth in the plants that we use, the homeopathic way that we use the plants around us, and the way that we can intuit the weather ourselves. This was based on something very core in us that we have subcontracted out to Alexa, to radars, to Google.com, to everybody else. And back then we didn't subcontract our intuition. We didn't subcontract our holy medicine cabinet that is the crust of the earth. We didn't. We learned from everything around us. And I've seen so much, and I've only been here for 37 years this time, but I've seen so many times where religion and certain denominations of religion will really help diminish the things that God literally has great value in. They'll tell you that it's wrong and don't do that. And that's what happened a long time ago. These things were taken from us and diminished and pissed on by the devil himself. So religion helps us stay away from the things that we were taught a long time ago. They were bad and going to damn us to hell. No, they weren't. These are the very things we were supposed to be open to. These are the very things we were supposed to accept and learn in its entirety, in its holistic entirety, not parceled out. And religion to me is just, fences that say, I love God this way and you're wrong. And it causes wars. It causes people's head to get chopped off. It caused all kinds of hard iron back in the day, that the Catholics used on everybody, for, I've seen that, like the devil's fork or these torture devices, that came from a certain type of religion. And so religions just teach you to hate while telling you to love. And that doesn't leave much for sovereignty or for you in Jesus Christ, or for him to really show you the full blossom of the man that he is and how alive he truly can be within you. And if the church and the religion realize that we have this much damn power, it'd knock the churches down tomorrow. Amen. Because Jesus was never for big religions and for big churches. He was for the layman in the alleyway. Because that's how he works, and he's still the same man. So I wanted to talk about love ownership. Love ownership. We do this when we're dating, when we're married, I've seen it in my own family, so instead of projecting, I'll put it in my own lap. So here it goes. Don't treat me wrong. You'll end up in one of my sermons or one of my songs. Uh-oh. But in my past, I have family members that are married to other family members. Well, that sounds funny. I have family members that are married, making everybody family members, right? What happened is, once I walk into the room, I'm like the black sheep, okay? It's not very popular in my narcissistic family at the time for that person to like Lainey. So before, they get married, and before I even got met by Christmas, or whatever, that new family member was probably given cliff notes from other family members on what they should believe about Lainey. So then they have pressure, okay? They're the new spouse, and you gotta follow me here. Okay, I don't want to drop names. So we have a familial spouse, a family spouse that married, let's just call it A, because that's the outsider that came in, okay? A is being taught that Lainey's a really bad person, stay away from her, a bunch of crap, okay? Now, this person is married to this person that's in my family. Now, when they come to visit me on Christmas, okay, this person is silently going to give the atmosphere of love ownership, meaning this person now has been told how much they can love me, and they've also been taught to hate me. Not much room for me to work, and at the time, I was benign and did not know that this had taken place. So when I meet someone, it's already so cut off, I don't even have a damn chance to show them me in who I am. I'm already prejudged at the door. Religion does the same damn thing. It does the same thing. That's why there's so damn many of them. You know what I'm saying? So this person, is energetically probably scowl-eyeing or kicking under the table or getting onto them once they get in the car together about, you were too close to that person. What'd you talk about him with? I told you to stay away from them. You know what I mean? So this person next Christmas and the next Christmas has learned to cold shoulder me. I'm not taking it personal. It's digging up, wounds. You know what I mean? It causes all this mess. There's been a lot of times in family lines, rather it be your own mother, because it happened in my family, the influence of someone else to love ownership, other people in the family, and tell them how to love and where to hate. And that's exactly the kind of land that I come from, and I realize that blueprint is exactly what religion is too. It's, I'm going to love ownership you, I'll scowl you if you grow outside these lines. If you spend too much time behind the barn with spirituality, we're going to have a big talk on the way home in the car because you're, that married love ownership. We don't own anybody. Even if you're married, you don't own someone. You're one with someone. That's unity, not ownership. And that's where we mess up. We change it from a union to slavery the moment we say we own someone. Love does not own. Okay? Rule number 1. I'm God's, right? But he doesn't own me at the same time. I have free will. I choose it to love him back. Okay? So we're one. It's not ownership. And be mindful, if you do that in your families, do your best not to press it out loud energetically where you're scowling someone in your family for loving somebody else in your family just because you don't like them or that's how you were taught and trained to treat them. And I've seen it a lot in my family. It's a damn shame, and it's always me that's like, it's like a damn shame for me because my character didn't get to have a real chance of getting to know someone new. I was already clipped before, that event even showed up in my life. This is not fair. So I definitely, I wanted to point that out. The devil works through religion to keep you away from the things that were meant for us. And love ownership is one of the influencers that religion uses. It uses its influence to tell you how to love God. And it automatically, silently teaches you how to hate or, something else or someone else. The way that they're growing, the way that they're doing things in their life. That's not what Jesus taught at all. That's not what he taught at all. So be mindful of love ownership and its influence to make you love or not love. I've loved some people in the past that I know love the shit out of me, but they can't show it because who they're married to wouldn't allow that for a half a second. So they cowered and submit down. And they're owned by that other person because that other person doesn't like me. So they must not like me too. When deep down inside, we've been best friends for 10 years, or stuff like that. That happens all the time. So I'm not going to cower down for anyone that I'm seeing. If I was seeing anyone in my life, they're not going to energetically tell me who I can't love and what I can't love and at what degree. That is sovereignty. You know what I mean? We need sovereignty there, because if someone in your life is creating a situation where you can't love the way that you want to love because it's wrong to them, or they told you or taught you to hate that person for their reasons, do not be a soul coward. You know what I'm saying? Have sovereignty of your own heart. And if somebody is able to influence you to hate what you love and love what you hate, that's called slavery. That's not sovereignty, and that's not love. You're being love ownership, and you're being controlled by those around you who are showing you what you can love and what you shouldn't love and what love is for you. Don't let people do that. And I'm sorry, Ken, but the first place you're going to find that is half the time in your own damn marriages. Just like half the time, you're going to find your best enemies right there inside your own family lines. Okay, so usually where we don't want to see this is the first place we wake up every morning and call home. Clear out your house, clean out your house. When we're cleaning out our house, it reminds me of a time that I was working in a forest for a workation. I needed to clear the trees, and every other tree there was a red oak, and then there was a white oak and a red oak, and they alternated. No, it wasn't. I'm sorry. It was red oaks and sycamore. Now I remember. It was red oak, sycamore. Whole acres of these trees have been growing for about 7 years, 10 years. So they were medium, kind of tall, and they had their own way about them. I give it that. But they were still small enough that I could chainsaw them and not hurt myself. So I took on this acre, and my job was to literally cut down all the sycamores. Are you kidding? I love sycamores. Like, as an artist, I love painting them. I think they're absolutely beautiful. Why do I have to cut down the sycamores? They're freaking gorgeous, fully grown trees. There's no sense to me, And what I learned was this was actually an acreage for red oaks and red oaks only. The sycamore grow next to the red oaks for a time because it helps the red oaks get rooted and stay protected and grow to a maximum height. But after a certain time, that sycamore is blocking out the left side of every single tree in that row. So when you look up, you've got a 7-year, 8-year tree that's fully blossomed on its right side, reaching out towards the sun. Right brain, right side, left side, yin yang. Come on, male, masculine, get it in union. So what this tree is representing is it's reaching towards the sun on its right side, but the left side that it shared with the sycamore tree, there was no branches at all. This tree was damn near lopsidedly bald. It was pathetic. So that is why my job was to come in and cut down the sycamore, is to save the lifeblood of the red oak, because this was a red oak acreage. And now the sycamore, which used to be mama, dada, your spouse, or whatever, your job that you had, it used to be the tit that you would sit next to every day, call it your friend, eat lunch, enjoy the rain, the sun, the seasons. And you did this every single day with that sycamore. And then one day I had to come around, rev up that chainsaw, and cut that sycamore down. I wonder how the red oak spent the night that night. Probably freaking out, naked on one complete side, and saddened that it lost its friend. Probably not thinking it can even grow anymore without that, because it hadn't grown yet without it by its side. We face that same stuff when Jesus comes in our lives and cuts down sycamores. So sometimes, just because it looks absolutely beautiful and absolutely like it should belong there, that's a tree, and that's a tree, and that's a tree, and this is a tree farm, looks good to me. A trained spiritual eye says, no, that's a sycamore, and it's killing out a red oak, and I've got to get rid of that sycamore. So be careful when we clear our gardens. Sometimes God will ask for the tree that you think is no harm to you, is the very one that's parasitic the most. really taking the lifeblood. So once I came along and I cut down the sycamores, that first row looked retarded as hell because like all the trees were all growing on the right side and they were bald on the left. And I was already on a spiritual journey for the third year. That was my freshman senior year in God school. I went to 11:11, bat symbol hit the sky. So I was already understanding that I was in a spiritual journey. So when I saw this, I immediately understood the right brain, left brain balance. And there it is in front of me on a damn tree farm in the middle of southern Indiana. Wow. So after I did a good day's worth of work, that's what it was. So these red oaks have now grown and they're full, they're growing and they're growing on both sides equally. And that's what Christ wants for us, to grow both sides equally within our own house, within our own brains, and our emotions, and with Him, both sides integrated, And we have to account for our own house. And so, like I said, when I was clearing these trees, one thing too I was looking for was greenbrier. Everybody knows what greenbrier is. I mean, I had that stuff all poked in my forearm. It was crazy. It hurt like hell. And so I had to take the greenbrier off of these young trees. It's choking them out. Well, it's easy for me to roll up and see that a greenbrier doesn't belong because I can easily see that is a parasitic and choking the tree out. Damn, it's got thorns. It looks like a snake. Duh. But what I didn't see was the sycamore being just as parasitic as that greenbrier. So be careful when you do weed your gardens. Ask God to help you see what you haven't seen before and really truly get rid of those parasites. So do note that stems into that the devil works through religion really to keep you away from the things that were truly meant for you, your spiritual mantle. Being a psychic is not bad for you. It is actually your spiritual mantle. You connected into God's source, and God's source is inside you, not waiting on you on some death date in the future. And God's not hanging out in heaven waiting on you or you waiting on Him. It's not a disconnect. God's right here inside of us. Don't look up, look in. And God's not disconnected from us. He's very much connected to us. And everything 369 Holy Design. Just have the eyes to see it, and I'm here to help you do that. So, woo, eyes of wonderment. Anyway, tonight is Saturday night, and at midnight I usually post the radio. So I'm going to go mix up a playlist for you guys. It's spiritual tunes that you're going to love. So if you love porch tunes, banjos, good beats, whatever it is, and eclectic and stuff that is new you haven't heard, so stay around. If midnight's too late for you, it's okay. It'll be here tomorrow. But usually I give you guys a run about 7 to 13 songs, and I introduce them in a small little 5-minute video, and I link it on a YouTube playlist. So you just click on that, and it takes you right to the playlist, and you can get to jamming and loving the radio here on the porch that turns on every Saturday night. And it's one of my gifts to you because I love music and I love the Lord, and I love evoking and stirring us up and making us think and sending us home. So amen to that. Family, I love you. You guys have been wonderful, and thank you so much. You guys have been so great to my sales this week. Not my head, my sales. I'm very humble to each one of you that brought new friendships to me. Tammy, you're one. And hi, Alan. So I appreciate your loyalty here, and God the Father worketh through a layman, and that's what you're really loyal to, Him, not me. And I'm just a pure messenger, and I mean to keep the water pure for you and to keep my ego out of the damn way. So just thank you for giving me a place to be me that's never existed in my life until now. And I thank God for that, and I thank God for you. And you might think that you're just a number or a person. I don't see you. I don't know you. I want to get to know all of you. I look forward to that. And you guys aren't just numbers for me. You're a true family to me. And I lean on you from time to time. And a lot of you come by the porch and just give me little messages. And I'm telling you, if I don't have time to get back with you right away and tell you that your messages mean the whole day to me, they do. Because it's you guys that are helping me heal that believing in myself and roar like a lion. And thank you for healing these old wounds, okay? It was hard to do. Anyway, just thank you for being you, because it's helping me be me. All right? And I hope that when I'm being me, it's helping you be you. And right back we go. And if we sit like this, we ain't got to sit with our heads in the mud. All right, anyway, like I always say, stay kind and stay out of your mind.